I'm going to show you how to solve an Equato puzzle. The Equato puzzle is awesome because it helps the third graders practice their problem solving skills, and it also helps them practice their operations, addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, and they need to apply their learning to a puzzle. So the way this puzzle works is you solve up and down. So you have to solve up and down, or you solve in rows. So it's in columns and rows. So you read the equations from left to right, and then you read the equation from top and then to the bottom. So you're reading across, and then you're reading the equation from the top to the bottom. All right, so the first thing that we're going to do, and that I've taught the third graders, is to look for the box with only one square to solve. So if I look at my puzzle, I'll find that this box right here needs to be solved. And if I look at the column, I have 9 take away 4 plus a number is going to equal 9. I always look at my equal sign because the third graders learn that both sides of the equal sign both sides of this, the equal sign have to equal each other, both sides of the equation. And if you look at this equation, this side equals 9. That means the other side of the equation equals 9. So 9 take away 4 equals 5. So 5, and I can put a little 5 there to help myself. 5 plus a number is going to equal a 9. Well, I know that 5 plus 4 is going to equal 9. And you have to remember the only digits that will fit into this puzzle are the numbers that are above. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So that box will equal 4. Then when I look at the problem, or look at the puzzle rather, I am going to look to find another place where I just have one box. As the puzzles get harder, sometimes I only have a place where there's 2 boxes, and so I'm going to have to solve. Now, one thing I tell the kids to remember is that smaller numbers cannot subtract larger numbers. So if I look here, if I have a subtraction sign, this box has to be larger than the amount that I'm subtracting. Another thing that I need to be mindful of and to think about is when I'm dividing a number. If I look here in this row, I have a number here that I need to divide by 4. And then if I'm going to divide by 4, I need to pick a number that is larger than 4 in third grade. Same thing with my subtraction. Larger numbers subtract smaller numbers. So that will help with your problem solving. So let's say I start with the division. I know that I need a number here that is going to be larger than 4. So I have the numbers 5, 6, 7, or 8 that I can put in there. Now, the third graders can use a strategy to help them. 1, 2, 3, 4 groups. That's what they need to divide their bigger number in. So if they tried 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, well, they know they can't divide 5 equally into 4 groups. Then they can try 6, they can try 7, and then finally they can get to 1, 2, 3, and have 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 divided by 4 equals 2. Okay, so remember, we're reading the equation from the left to the right. So I'm reading 8 divided by 4, which equals 2. I have that in my head. 2 plus 3, it equals 5. So 5 has to fit there because the only number divided by 4 is going to equal, that can divide equally by 4 is going to be 8. 8 divided by 4 equals 2. 2 plus 3 equals 5. Now I'm going to look for another box where there's just, or another equation where there's just one box to solve. And I can see this one on the right where I have 5 right here, 5 plus an unknown, that's my unknown, and I'm going to take away 5, and it's going to equal 7. I look at my equal sign, the whole equation has to equal 7. So I'm going to look at the numbers that I have available. I have a 1, a 2, a 3, a 6, a 7, and an 8. Oh, 8 isn't left. I have to cross off 8. So just 1, 2, 3, 6, and 7 left. So I'm going to add, if I add 5 plus 6, if I put the 6 here, that will equal 11. 11 take away 5 equals 6. So that does not equal 7, so the 6 doesn't work. So I'm going to try another one. 5 plus 7, oh, 5 plus 7 equals 12. Bigger number than 5, I can subtract it. 12 take away 5 equals 7. Let's see. Yep, so I'm going to cross off my 7, right? I've crossed out the 5 off the 5 already. So now I'm going to go to another section of my puzzle to solve. Let me see where I'm going to go next. I can see that if I look here, I'm looking here at this column. I'm just going to erase my equal groups right here. I'm going to find my equal sign again. Here's my equal sign. And then I'm going to look here. 8 take away 1 equals 7. So this has to equal 7. And then if that equals 7 on the other side of the equal sign, it needs to equal 7. I'm going to look at the numbers that I have available. I need to add 2 numbers so that they equal 7. Well, I'm not going to add 1 and 2. These are the numbers I have left. I have 1, 2, 3, and I have 6 that are left to put in my puzzle. 1 plus 2 is 3. That doesn't equal 7. 2 plus 3 equals 5. That doesn't equal 7. I know that 6 and 1 equal 7. I have 6, and I can place my 1 here. Now, this is the part that gets tricky, and you have to be a thinker when you're solving. So if I know that in addition, I can switch my add-ins around, just like I can in multiplication. So I could have a 6 here, but I could also have a 1. Or I could have a 6 here or a 1, because 6 plus 1 equals 7 or 1 plus 6 equals 7. It's the same. So I'm going to have to look at the rest of my problem or another row or another column to make sure that it fits. So I'm going to keep these numbers here because I might need to change them. I might not. So then I'm going to look up at the top here. I have at this row, I have 6 plus 9. I know that 6 plus 9 equals 15. I'll put this here. So that 6 plus 9, which equals 15, is on the left side of the equal sign. I need the right side of the equal sign to also equal 15. So if I cross out my 6 and I cross out my 1, I've used them. But now I'm going to look at the numbers that are left over. I need it to equal 15. So I think to myself, 5 times what number will equal 15? Well, I know 5 times 3 equals 15. So both sides are equal to one another. Now I just have one box to fill. I have this box to fill right here. And I'm going to put my 2 in there. That's my only number. But now I need to make sure that my column up and down works with the 2. And then I need to make sure that going left to right works as well. So I'm going to check here. 3 plus 2, which equals 5. 5 take away 3, it equals 2. That works. So that checks out. And then my last row or that I need to check is here. I have 1 plus 4, which is 5. 5 take away 2, does not equal 7. So now I need to go back and see how I can switch my numbers to make them. So this is the point where it gets tricky and you shouldn't give up. These puzzles are meant to be challenging. So I knew from the beginning that I could switch around my 1 and my 6. Well, let's do that and see what happens, because remember, 1 plus 4 is 5. 5 take away 2 does not equal 7 across here. So I'm going to need to fix things. So I'm going to make sure that I erase my 6, I erase my 1, And I'm going to switch them. And I'm going to make this a 1 and this a 6. Well, first of all, let's make sure that the top equation here, this row works. 1 plus 9, well, that equals 10. Okay, let's see if I can multiply 5 by a number. Oh, remember, I put the 2 here. Let's switch the 2. I'm going to take the 2 out. I'm going to take the 3 out. And I'm going to put a 2 here instead. 2 times 5, that equals 10. Oh, that works. Now let's try across this way. 6 plus 4, well, that equals 10. So 10 take a number is going to take away a number, an unknown is going to equal 7. Well, I can put my 3 here. I had my 3 here initially at first, but now it works. So 10 take away 3, it equals 7. Let's try this way. 2 plus 3 equals 5. 5 take away 3 equals 2. That works. So it does take some trial and some error. That means that you try it, and then sometimes you're going to make a mistake, and you need to fix it. This is not a puzzle that should take you 1 minute to do. There's some thinking that is involved and also applying strategies that you've learned.